What's up everybody, I'm Hungry Trash Panda and this is Dying Light Bad Blood. Everyone who signs up will be able to try it out in Phase 2 on September 1st and 2nd, 2018, whereas only selected participants were able to participate in this phase, which is what we're talking about today. Bad Blood will be completely free to play once it's released. I'm going to give a breakdown of what this game mode is based on what I experienced in the playtest and then my final thoughts on what I thought about it all. First and foremost, this is a battle royale. Yeah, I know, but it's become such a successful and addictive genre when done right. The way that Dying Light is doing their version of battle royale in this playtest is a 12-person free-for-all. They did list some different game modes, such as normal, casual, and ranked, which are visible from the play screen, but only normal was playable in this phase. So this game is meant to be highly competitive. Onto the gameplay, not only do you have to kill the other players, but you also have the zombies scattered around the map protecting blood samples. You need to gather these blood samples to become stronger. You can level up to a maximum level of 5, which increases your health and damage. So they're not only important to get an edge up on your fellow humans, but you also need a certain amount to evacuate and win. There is only one seat on the helicopter, and it won't be triggered until you have the required amount. These blood samples will also be a great way to catch your opponents off guard, so you technically don't have to kill anyone, you only need the blood samples to leave. But it'll be very difficult to get away unscathed as most blood samples will come from other players. Once you have all the blood samples you need, you will be marked to anyone remaining on the map, so you will be hunted by everyone who's left, if anyone is left. The evacuation zone will have to be uncontested in order to evacuate. Okay, now that you know some of the rules, some other aspects that I noticed about the game mode are the loot boxes. Yes, it says there's loot boxes, that's not always bad. Depending on how it's implemented, all I know is that they exist. And this feature was not accessible for this playtest. I did earn some loot boxes while playing, but I couldn't open any. Loot boxes can be a great way to keep players playing. Some of the different items that come out of loot boxes will consist of different outfits for your character, weapon skins, and masks. Especially with the Battle Royale, or really most games nowadays, it's all about that delicious fashion. I myself don't mind some well-earned or lucky to get fashion that you can show off to all your friends, or you know, randoms, just so everyone will love you. So once you're dropped into the map, there is a time limit of 15 minutes. And then it claims that night is coming once you get closer to the end of those 15 minutes. I'm not sure if anything actually comes of that. I didn't stick around long enough for the time to expire. Unfortunately, I really should have tested that. But it may also just end the game, or maybe you'll just be hunted by everything. In each game, you'll be able to carry up to 4 weapons and 4 utility items. Loot is scattered all throughout the map. All the weapons I saw are from the actual Dying Light game, like daggers, wrenches, machetes, bats, and heavy two-handed weapons. Guns are hard to come by, but I only saw pistols and shotguns in this playtest, which you will mostly be getting from drop boxes that are guarded by human NPCs, which can be a little bit more skilled than your average run-of-the-mill zombie. You can also pick up bows that cause bleeding damage and requires the player to remove the arrow or continue bleeding. Utility items consist of healing items and thrown items like molotovs, homemade grenades, landmines, and throwing axes, which cause the same bleeding effect as bows. You will also come across elemental mods you can add to melee weapons to inflict bleeding, slow, or even disarm your opponents. They also added parrying to melee combat to bring in some balance during melee combat with other humans. Melee weapons will also have the rarity colors like in Dying Light. I only came across green or orange melee weapons, but this is subject to change, I'm sure. Guns and bows were also PP yellow, I mean the gold rarity, so they're going to be more difficult to find. You can locate nearby human players by the red indicators on your minimap. It isn't super accurate, but it will tell you in which direction they are. And when the center lights up completely, you'll hear a sound, meaning that the enemy is well within about 30 meters. The stamina consumption is a little ridiculous in my opinion, although you could argue that stamina management will be a key component when fighting, but I think it just needs some more tweaking. Or maybe it is just something you have to get used to and work with in order to really get that edge up on your opponents. It was really satisfying to ragdoll your enemies away with a well-timed charge swing, but sometimes the damage versus stamina used didn't really match up well, and it just left you open for punishment while dealing not enough damage. But that's pretty much all you need to know for Bad Blood. And now the thing you could care less about, my opinion on this game mode. Well, it's a very interesting idea, and I love Dying Light. It is one of my most favorite games ever of all time. But it feels very odd to make a PvP version of Dying Light. It feels awkward. The matchmaking was sometimes very fast, other times it took maybe 10 minutes. That can be taken with a grain of salt, since this is just a playtest, so I can't complain too much about that. But I will because it's my video. All in all, it's interesting and could probably be really fun with friends, but by myself I feel like I would just feel cheated when I got gunned down by someone while all I had was a two-handed hammer. The idea of the whole thing is quite interesting, and given some time it really could evolve into something awesome, because it's already something special, much different from other battle royales. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm kinda on the fence about it. I don't feel, with what's provided so far, that it'll be incredible, but it would be at least fun to play, at least for a little while. But give it a whirl for yourself, you might just like it. I'll leave you with some more gameplay, and I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, stay awesome, hungry ones.
Used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in there.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.